Hi, Blair. How you doing? Oh,
Hello?
can,
Oh,
can you hear me?
yes. Hi, Jennifer. Can you?
Oh my God, nice to finally get to meet you. How are you?
Great. I tried to log on about 5 minutes till, and I kept putting your meeting ID in, and it just kept saying invalid. So I was trying to call you and text you, and I like to be, a few minutes early.
Where are
So
you from?
I live in Louisville, Kentucky, but I'm originally
Love the
Texas.
accent.
Well, it may be my Texas roots that are coming out with that.
Okay,
Living in
okay.
Kentucky, so I'm definitely a Southern girl.
I was on earlier. I had got on earlier, and then I'm saying to myself, okay, I had logged in like at around 12:30. And then I got a little hungry, so I decided to have my lunch. And then I'm sitting here, and I'm like, okay, let me do my notes. Let me just see. I took a glance at your webpage and everything, and I'm saying to myself, like, wow, you have done a lot. Like, tell me, like, so that everyone can know who you are. Welcome to Jennifer's Perspective, and my very special guest today is Mrs. Jennifer Blair. We have the same name.
I know. I was like, I love that. The two Jennifers
Isn't that
connect today. It was so fun.
And I'm saying to myself, like, okay, then now you're one of the ladies that is in Tam's book.
Yes.
That is featured in Tam's book. Am I correct?
Yes, I am. I'm one of 16 women that she has gathered from around the world and put us together. The book is called Women Who Boss Up,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an opportunity for us each to tell our story, our personal
Mm-hmm.
story, and how we've had to boss up in the world to go create something amazing and make positive impact on other people. So I was thrilled to get connected with Tam and be part of this project.
Did she dedicate a chapter to you as well?
Yes, she did.
Nice.
My podcast with her was released Monday the 22nd, so just a few days ago.
Okay.
And I've read my transcript. In fact, in order to prep for today, I went back and reread what I wrote and what I said basically. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
I have a chapter in that book, as well as the other many fabulous women.
And can you just give me a little backstory on how you came to be the coach? To introduce yourself and just tell me what it is that you currently do.
Absolutely. So my name is Jennifer. Yay, great name, Jennifer Blair,
Mm-hmm.
and I am a life coach, an inspirational speaker, and an author.
Mm-hmm.
I have been a coach. I'm in my 17th year, so I've been doing this almost 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And I really came out. I came into this work. But a quick backstory: I'm from Texas. I moved here in 1990 to
Mm-hmm.
get married and have family, build a family, and have a new life in a whole new community, different part of the world. And so I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years. And
Mm-hmm.
during that time, I was a volunteer. I was a volunteer for women's organizations. I chaired the Race for the Cure. I got involved in some of the social issues, component of the arts during that time. And at year 10, my marriage fell apart. And I, like so many women, I learned in that experience that how much it was terrible that it fell apart, and we worked for a couple of years to keep it together, and I made the decision to leave it. And a big part of that was I learned how much I had lost myself in that marriage and in that process. So I spent some time healing, a couple of years doing everything imaginable with therapy and alternative type healing methods, and decided that I wanted to give back to women, especially, to how to overcome kind of those obstacles. But
Mm-hmm.
more than that, what I learned was the importance of being really true to who you are and
Mm-hmm.
really understanding your own authenticity and how to not be afraid to live that in the world. I do work with men in my business as well. So I literally got my training in 2003 with the Coaches Training Institute, hung up a shingle and said, I'm a life coach, I'm in business. Back then, I know you're also a coach. You can probably relate to this. Back then, people wanted to know what team I was going to coach. They didn't understand what life coaching was. So I spent more time explaining what a coach did. And I've just been very blessed and fortunate over the past 17 years.
And how do you pronounce the name of your company? Excavive?
It's Excavive.
Excavive?
Yes. So it was a made up name that my best friend and my graphic designer, we went to breakfast at this really cool breakfast place. And I said, I need a name that's going to create intrigue, that people are going to be like, what is that? And so we kept talking about life and living this great life. And I kept saying, but you have to dig in there and find it and really reclaim your life. And we came up with, someone said, what about excavating? I'm like, I love that. So we came up with the combined exca means to dig up and life, vive means life. So to uncover your life is really what it stands for.
And you've been coaching since 2003, before before coaching became popular. Oh my gosh! I think I got divorced in 2004. That's when my marriage literally fell apart in 2004, and that was when I started my journey to healing. And
Absolutely.
it's been an awesome journey, because now I finally got a chance to publish my book, My Journey to Healing. And most people don't know it, but I'll share my story at some other time. But right now, you're the special guest and the microphone is yours. What type of coach are you?
So I still consider myself, it's interesting, my client base. I coach clients all over the country. I coach men and women. I happen to have a specialty coaching CPAs, because I have a firm here that sends me clients. But when you ask what kind of coach I am, I really focus on authenticity and values, and helping someone not only reach their goals or whatever reason that it is they come to coaching, but to really step into being the best version of themselves, to really understanding who you are and creating everything from that rooted foundation. So I do a lot of work on values and understanding strengths, and then how to really go be empowered with that out in the world. And it's an amazing, you're a coach as well, you can probably relate to this. I feel so blessed to be on someone's journey. They let you into their journey, and you see them grow and evolve, and you see them accomplish great things, and you're part of that. I happen to be coaching some women in political campaigns right now. And one of my clients just won her primary in South Dakota, so I was thrilled about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's fun when you see the victories happen, but the bigger thing for me is I've watched people like this woman transform as the confidence and the willing to speak up and use her voice, and to go out there and get what they want in the world and claim that for themselves. So I kind of consider myself more of a transformational coach, probably more than anything else. I help someone transform into being their best selves. So
basically, did you just went from being married? Do you have children?
I do. I have two fabulous children. I have a 26-year-old son. His name is Taylor. And he lives here in Louisville, and is he's the vice president of a commercial real estate firm and loves what he does. And I have a daughter, Tess Thompson, who is 24, and she lives in Washington, D.C. and works for a company called Mabomo. It's a tech company. And she's a project manager that services the NASA website. So I'm into following the astronauts right now, just because I watch what she does on her website. So it's very cool.
Well, how did you make the transition? You just went from, did you ever work in corporate America, or were you just a stay-at-home mom? You were just a stay-at-home mom? Listen, I think stay-at-home moms are underpaid. I did it.
Oh my goodness, toughest job in the world.
Oh my goodness.
Toughest job in the world. So I worked in Dallas. I went to college in Dallas. I graduated from SMU in 84, so I'm dating myself a little bit here. And I did work in corporate America. I worked for a financial corporation called Murray Financial Corporation for a couple of years, and their corporate communication. My background was in, my degree was in advertising, the minor in political science and minor in business. And so I worked in the communications field, in public affairs, in corporate communications and advertising for big companies. And I worked for a company called EDS and loved that job. I had an amazing, amazing experience working with Bob Ballard, who discovered the Titanic, and worked on a project called the Jason Project, which was an underwater deep sea exploration that was broadcast into museums around the country. And this is pre-internet days. So you had to take a field trip, like kids had to take a field trip to the museum, and then they'd see this big screen that Bob was in the Mediterranean diving for treasure. And the whole point was to excite people for science, and that, you know, not all scientists are nerds. So I worked on that project for a couple of years, but then I got, you know, fell in love, got married, love conquers all, and moved to Kentucky. So, and when I moved here,
did you ever remarry after that?
I had a brief marriage back to somebody from high school that I had grown up with about 8 years ago. And we honestly had a long distance marriage, and we weren't quite on the same page in terms of me moving there. I still had a child in high school, and it was important to me. I couldn't leave her. I wasn't going to abandon her. And it became too difficult to do the distance for the amount of time that we were doing it. So we parted ways from that.
And you just couldn't see uprooting her from taking her from her surroundings.
I would not do that to her. For her stability. Her dad is here. He is an active parent. We have a fantastic relationship. We co-parented well together. My children were 5 and 7 when I divorced. So,
so to uproot her wasn't.
It wasn't an option, and it was not an option. So, so I'm glad, and Louisville's become home, and you know, I've grown to really love it here.
Okay, well, now with your you've overcome, like, listen, so many challenges as a single mom, a divorcee, then starting life over, starting a new career, and you have 2 beautiful, wonderful children that are very successful or stable. Should I say successful and stable in good careers?
Absolutely.
For you to do that as a single mom.
Oh, thank you.
Listen, my mom, I know what most people don't understand. My mom is a single mom, and my mom has 7 children, and I can honestly say that my mom, she gets Mother's Day and Father's Day, and they're all doing really well, very successful, and I can honestly say that most people don't give single moms enough credit for what it takes, because half the income is already depleted, because now it's just a 1-income family, and then you have to find childcare, good transportation. You have to make sure to be there for them, shuffle them back and forth to whatever it is that they have to get to, and make sure that you just divide your time equally. And it takes a lot, and I don't think that single moms get the credit or the attention or the acclamations that they deserve, because it's not easy. My mom did it, and she says, "Oh my God," she goes, she really goes, "I'm so glad that she has really good children, because what could you do?" I tried dating after my divorce, but I came to the life coaching field from domestic violence, addiction, rape, substance abuse, mental, physical, emotional abuse, literacy, and I started my healing journey at the age of 38. So when people say to me, "Oh my God, Jennifer, you don't look like you've been through anything," and I say, "Oh my God, by the grace of God," and I can take my message, take my mess, turn it into a message, and to encourage a lot of women that have been through the same things, because a lot of people don't understand when you grow up in an abusive home, then you get married, and then you marry into an abusive situation. It is really, I had to break that cycle. And in order to break that cycle, I literally had to just work on myself. You know what I'm saying? I literally just had to do me for years. And then I had some health issues with fibroids and several operations. And then I just started just like studying. I was so hungry for knowledge and information. And then I had to learn social skills.
Yes. Yes. Well, first of all, claps back to you for what you've done. And I so admire, like, you are a hero to me for anyone that comes through something. And I really believe that the way I make sense of what happens to us in our world is that, for me, I took my challenges. I grew up with an alcoholic father. I'm a child of a divorce. Other challenges as well. And I finally came to believe that these challenges, these problems are
I say challenges because that's basically what they are. They're like challenges. And I say
right.
it again.
They're also opportunities. I look at every challenge as a transformational opportunity. So the more that you heal, it allows you to go heal others. And I think that's what I've learned on my personal journey as well as my professional journey. I'm here to have experiences, to learn, to grow, to transform it, and then be on the journey with others to help them do the same thing. So I think the deeper your challenges, the greater you have to heal yourself and others. So you just have an amazing opportunity in front of you, which is what I think part of the reason I've been in my world and my business for 17 years is because I keep growing, I keep learning, I keep transforming for others. And
you're helping and empowering, a lot of men and women who have, listen, people say, do you coach men as well? Yes, why not? They go through stuff too.
Absolutely. And I have quite a few men in my practice, and I love working with my men. They have the same challenges we do.
Oh,
They have the same issues around confidence and second guessing themselves and really trying to do it all as well and be good themselves and be good providers. And they have the same stuff we do. It just looks a little different. So I love working with the men in my business as well.
Awesome. Now, have you currently written any books at this moment?
Yes, in fact, you will be the first person to see this.
Really?
I wrote a book 8 years ago called The True You, Tools to Excavate and Explore. And it was a compilation of columns that I had published in a local magazine called Underwired. And so I decided to republish that book. And it is still a compilation of the columns, but I rewrote everything to become more aligned with my thinking and healing and continued growth over the last several years. I reorganized it. So it is called The True You Reimagined, if you can see that. It just went live, actually. Thank you. And thank you. This just went live a week and a half ago on Amazon. I've not been really promoting it a lot yet. And the exciting thing I'm really excited about being part of the BossUp project, because that's really a place that allows me to tell my story and to talk about the journey, the transformation, some of the tools I give in that chapter about self-care tools and what it takes to be successful. But if you want to take a deeper dive into my work, this is a great deep dive. And I also have a workbook called the True You Workbook, Tools to Reimagine Your Life. And that is in production at my publisher now, and that will probably be available in the next couple of weeks by mid-July. So I've got a book and a workbook. The True You Reimagined, Discover Your Authentic Self is the name of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okie dokie. And do your coaching program that you currently offer, do you offer a 3-week, a 4-week, 6-week, a 90-day program, or a 12-week program?
So here's how I do my coaching. My work is very individualized to the client. I decided not to create a program, like a 12-week program that on week 5 we'll be doing X.
Oh, really?
It's very customized to my clients. So I probably have a 4-session package that would be 4 to 6 weeks. I've also learned after doing this for many years that people process differently. I have some people, they want to come to coaching and they're like, okay, let's do it every week. Let's, keep going, and they're full speed ahead. I have some that they need every other week. They need to be able to have that time to process and let things imprint and and think about things. So I say it's a 4-session package that is offered it's for someone who wants an introduction to coaching. It may be a financial reason. It's obviously less money than my bigger packages. And oftentimes once somebody does that package, they will then continue on with me. I also have an entry point at 12 sessions, and that's more of a 3 to 4 month program in which we just take a deeper dive. In both programs,
Sorry.
no problem. I look at both values, and we look at your values, we look at life balance, we kind of build a strong foundation of who you are, and then the coaching starts to really try to meet the goals of the client. And I also offer a 12-session package. So those are kind of my entry points, 4-session or 12-session. I do have a much bigger program for someone, let's say, that's going through a divorce and that they see divorce as an opportunity to create a new life. And so we're going to just look at everything, and I'm going to be there as part of that support so that the decisions they make while they're in a divorce sets them up to have the life they want to have. So I have those 3 different packages in which I coach people.
Okay, that is actually really good. Do you have any, let's see, between the book, the workbook, and Pam's book, you're a very busy lady. Your plate is actually full. Wow. Are you currently doing any speaking engagements at the moment?
Well, that the pandemic has changed things a bit. In the past, I've done quite a bit of inspirational speaking. In fact, my last speaking engagement was about 2 weeks before we got shut down. To stay at home came in order. I spoke to the Louisville Mortgage Bankers Association and spoke to them. I was their guest luncheon speaker and spoke on what it takes to really be successful. So that's a topic I've been speaking on quite a bit in the past year. And honestly, the rest of my speaking things that were in process got canceled or postponed. So I don't have anything currently scheduled to speak, but I'm talking to some people about, let's create some things for the fall that can be transferable to Zoom if we can't do it in person. So we're sort of a little bit of a pivot with the speaking. In fact, I had a speaking engagement for the Louisville Ballet. They have a mind body balance series, and I did a life balance talk for them in April, and it was supposed to be in person. I converted it to Zoom, and that worked out fantastic. I mean, I was able to share my screen and show people handouts. I emailed handouts to everybody so they could participate. I like all of my speaking to be interactive. I don't want to talk at people. I want to bring people into the conversation. I want to have a conversation. And want that to honestly, I want them to take a takeaway. I want them to, my hope every time I speak, My hope is that each person will take one pearl of wisdom, one nugget, one thing that they can apply to their lives immediately that will make a difference. So I really do offer up lots of tools and ideas, and I try to involve my audience in my speaking engagements.
Okay. And well, the country's opening up little by little, so we'll see how that actually goes with the speaking tour, because now it's getting to the point where I think they're allowing like 20 people in a group. So maybe you can do like small groups, small workshops or something like that. So that actually is being done. I think we're receiving that really well.
Exactly. Fingers crossed.
It's like I'm saying to myself, okay, because I know that I just before the pandemic, I had so many things, plans and workshops and speaking engagements, and then all of a sudden, there's like pandemic, oh my God, 7 people to the room, and then 5 people to the room, and then it was like, okay. But now I think as coaches, I think we're going to be in like really high demand, because with, I think not only the healthcare industry, but with the pandemic and with the tension that is actually taking place within the country. And I say to myself, what part, and I say, Father God, okay, source, what part are we, the coaches, playing in the awakening? Because did you not see it?
Exactly.
And basically, that is what is happening. And now that it was like a massive awakening, and I had to say to myself, oh my God, where do we as life coaches come in at in the awakening? Because as we coach people, we're not just giving them a prescription and say, here, take a pill and go. You understand what I'm saying? We're dealing with the entire being of the person, their soul, on a soul level, on a spiritual level, on a physical level, and mentally and socially. And I say to myself, oh my God, this is like such an opportunity for coaches right now, because you have people that is awakening and they don't understand what it is that is happening to them.
Right. Well, I find it's so interesting. I love what you're saying, and I find it to be so heartfelt and true, and kind of to the core of our being, that spirit soul that's been wanting to come out.
We're being present.
It's been wanting to come out for a long time.
Okay.
And I think what I'm seeing in a lot of my clients right now is the first thing as a coach we have to do is help people move through fear. I think that as we're having this awakening, it's also triggering huge fear for my future, fear for my job, my children, my family, my well-being and my health. There's so much of that I have really spoken to my clients a lot about how to manage and how to deal with, how to move through, how to get into your faith. I mean, I think this is the moment to really deeply, for the people who do have a faith system and have God and spirit, to really, I know they say they have it, but what does that really mean to deeply embody it? What does it really mean to be able to continue to move forward with purpose and passion and excitement for your life and what you do out there in the world, to feel and clarity around that, and to know you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay no matter what. And I think as coaches, we can reinforce that message. We can keep saying, you got it. We're coaching, you got it. Keep showing up, keep going, keep doing it. And do it, not only do this, but do it in a way that is, you reimagined. It's why I named my book, The True You. Reimagine who you really are and what you can be out there doing in the world that
I'm doing
that is
I'm doing. I'm actually just finishing up a 4 weeks video series on the confident woman and overcoming fears. Oh my God! So for you to say that, it's just that I totally resonate with what it is that you're saying, because basically that is what is happening.
absolutely. And I think that we also have to not only reinforce that message, but give people actually practical tools
Mhm.
to move through that as well.
Mhm.
That's why I have a whole workbook I'm coming out with, because I have filled with lots of tools, and I'm a big believer in, write it down on paper, and, write down what it is you want. Really, what are the emotions that you attach to that, the feel good things that you want to feel, do the work, the mental work, the
And
spiritual,
the inner work.
the inner work to, like I keep saying, to embody it, to be it. And
Mhm.
I love, I'm sure you know who Elizabeth Gilbert is, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love.
Yes.
She wrote a
Yes.
book called
I
Big
was I
Magic.
was watching her yesterday on she had did a guest spot on Oprah, and I was literally watching
Okay.
the
Oh, how interesting. So funny I bring this up. So
oh my gosh. Yes.
she wrote a book a couple of years ago called Big Magic. And
Uh-huh.
about her creative process. And what she
Uh-huh.
says is that every time I sit down to put pen to paper, there's this fear that comes up, the fear of I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I don't know what to say. She says, and I am an international best-selling author. I know that, but the fear still comes in. So what I had to do was I had to acknowledge the fear is there. I've
Mhm.
now learned that fear will be my constant companion. And it's
Mhm.
okay that I let it live there. But the
It's the
difference,
beginning of the adventure. It's the beginning of the unknown.
right, but her perspective that resonated with me was fear gets to be there, but
Mhm.
it doesn't get a vote. I get the vote. The fear doesn't get a vote. So I love this.
Gets to be there, but it doesn't get a vote.
As
Awesome.
to me, I was like, wow, you get to acknowledge it, but then you say, thank you. Thank you for your opinion, but my vote is the one that counts, and I'm going to do this anyway. with,
Awesome. Fear does not get a vote. Awesome. I think I'm going to use that. I
do. I took it from
like that.
so please take it. So I have I've done a lot of reading, a lot of work, a lot of my own self practice around fear that comes up. I think, I was the person when I first started this coaching business. And when I had some money coming in for the first couple of years, because I started when my children were little, and
Mm.
I was building the business before I knew I'd have to be on my own. And when I had to go 100% on my own, supporting myself and my children and home and all that, it was like, wow, like it was so scary.
Mm.
I kept thinking, I'm going to be the best dressed bag lady on the streets of downtown Louisville. I kept going, I may be homeless, I may be poor, but I'm going to look good. And so I imagined that. So I started, really taking a look at how I needed to heal my own fears around
Uh-huh.
deserving and enough, and being able to, I think women get that a lot, especially when it comes to money, and especially with those of us who are creative and coaches, and uh,
Mm. Mm.
running the business, it can be scary. I mean, it's one thing.
Especially if it's the first time you've ever done it. Have you ever, was this your first business? Did you own a company before this business?
This is my first.
So then,
Yeah, my example came from my parents. My mother divorced when I was 13. She had no
mm,
college education.
mm,
She went back to school, got her degree in interior design, and started a business at the same time. So
mm,
in my, early teens and those formative high school years, I watched her do it. So when I started my business, I'm like, I'm going to start a business. What's the big deal? Of course I could do business. My mom did it. Had no idea what it really takes to continue to, when it gets scary, we're talking about fear, keep showing up, to get up and do the work anyway, to trust that. In my work in my business has been built on my spirituality as well, and really trusting. And I always say God's on my board of directors, and if the board of directors, yes. And I will have these conversations. If you want me to do something else, show me that and I'll go do it. And if you want me to be here, I'll do this. So that also helps with the fear factor when you're not in it alone, truly in it alone.
Oh my God, you are such a delight to speak to, and I'm learning so much just speaking with you and connecting with you, because I think women empowering women and women encouraging women and women networking with women, well, at this point, I think is something that there's a lot of new coaches in the business that most of them are women. I noticed that there are a lot of men coming into the business as well. When you did the transition, and now that you have men and women as coachees and as your staff, now how do you coach them? Because you coach them a little similarly or differently? Because now, how do you deal with that?
The differences of men and women? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, with the coaching process, when you're coaching men and when you're coaching women, you can't approach them the same. They have the same issues.
I actually coach them the same.
Really?
I do. I see the person either in person. I do some in-person coaching in Kentucky. If you're in Louisville, Kentucky, you have that option to see me in person. And then I do Zoom, and then I also, a lot of it, majority is by phone. It's really, I coach them, they go through the same process of, we do a life balance wheel, we do values, we talk about strengths, we clarify what it is they want to get out of coaching. And so I show up the same way for both of them.
Nice. Okay.
Because they're just a person with the same fears, challenges, insecurities as the next person. So it's not different. I have really, I think the one thing that for me as a coach, I'm really good at building the relationship with my client. So I get to know them really well, and I build trust with them very quickly. And so it's really a co-created relationship that they trust me. I mean, I have a man who's the president of a company, and when he starts to think about new initiatives, he runs them by me, and we talk about that. And I give him that reinforcement. The other thing about me, and maybe it's because at my heart, I'm a creative soul, a creative being. That's why I like to write. I love coming up with creative solutions for people's businesses, or like the women I'm coaching. I have 2 women who are political candidates. And, this one of the women who won her primary, she had to figure out how to run a political campaign in COVID when she couldn't go door to door and introduce herself to her constituents. So we had to come up with creative ways in which she could put herself out there, and it was so much fun. I was like, what about this? What about this idea? And so I'm a creator at my soul, and
awesome.
That I do. And I've coached a lot of people to become coaches. So I'm helping them find their authentic voice and what they're going to be and who they're going to be as coaches as well. So I'm just doing that for everybody. I figure I'm healing one person at a time in the world to help them really step up to be their authentic best all the time.
Awesome. So let me see now. Now, wow, you're really a busy lady, but with 17 years of experience, you have come across, I would actually say, you have experienced so much more. You have just a wealth of experience, a wealth of, okay, if you're helping others becoming coaching. How did you get into the political arena? How did you start that? Did they seek you out, or did you end up seeking them out?
Honestly, the reason the two women I coach who are political candidates are in South Dakota. Um, it's so funny to me how the connections you make and how that works. I I was friends with a woman who had moved here from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, many years ago, maybe like 12, 13 years ago. And so we started going to lunch like once a month and became friends. And her best friend from South Dakota came to visit her. I happened to run into them at the restaurant that this woman and I always go, and that woman hired me as her coach up in Sioux Falls. Then she told somebody, then they told somebody, then they told somebody. And one of the women up there that I coached, and I can say her name because she's said it publicly. Her name is Deb Soholt. And she decided through our coaching to run for political office. And she just retired as a state senator, but she, through our coaching, part of that coaching process was she was trying to find an avenue to be more impactful, to have a bigger impact on people, and found that the political arena gave her the opportunity. She's a nurse by background. It gave her an opportunity to go work on healthcare issues for the state of South Dakota. So she hired me, and not during the political campaign. I didn't do any of coaching during that, but I got her to that place too. That was her decision. She has since started a company called Influential She with a partner, Mel Shop. The two of them created Influential She to promote how women can step in, how women can be more influential. And they have 10 different tenets, they call them, 10 different aspects of that. And one of the aspects is leveraging self. So they tapped me as the expert on leveraging self. And they did 10 podcasts with each woman. And I was tapped as their expert and talked about values and how you and who you are and that sort of thing. So I know this is a long answer.
It's okay.
So
you have my undivided attention.
Thank you. Through the podcast Influential She, which was released last August, these two women that hired me heard my podcast and said, I think I need to hire her. And it just so happened they were political candidates. That was sort of a coincidence. But I love doing the work and love that I'm a strategic influencer at heart. And so that's been a lot of fun. And I also worked when I was in my 20s, I worked for a senator in Washington, D.C. for a summer. I was an intern. I was a political science minor. So I have an interest, like a personal interest in politics. And it just so happened that I have some clients that are running for political office. But that's only 2 clients out of my entire client base. So it's not a huge percentage of my work, but it's some of my most fulfilling, and I have to say, really fun work that I do.
Well, let's see. I think what I didn't get so far is the .com. We need the .coms. We need to know how to get into contact with you, how to connect with you, how the listeners can connect with you as well regarding where to get the link, how to download the book, where the book's located. So what is your website?
So my website, and you sort of touched on it with the pronunciation of Excavive. It's Excavive, EXCAVIVE.com. So it's Excavive.com. And if you go onto my website, you can sign up to be on my mailing list, and you get a free ebook called Be Who You Are, 6 Ways to Excavate Yourself. So you get, it's a taste of my work where there's exercises in here, and it's a free book to really start that process of thinking about how to be more authentic and be who you are. So that's how you get on my email list. You can also, if you want to just reach out to me directly, it's Jennifer@excavive.com. I love emails from people, so feel free to do that. But by getting on my newsletter list, I'm sending out information about books and speaking engagements, and anytime there's something like that, it goes out into my newsletter. My book can also be found on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, iUniverse.com, or if you want to buy it directly from me, I will sign it. You'll get an autographed signed copy and bookmark, and a couple of other little treats when you buy it directly from me. So those are all the ways in which you can, and there's also information on my website about my coaching services and packages and pricing and all kinds of things on that site as well.
And they can get the book as well on Excavive.com. Excavive.com has all the information. That has basically everything.
It does. Now, this new book is not on my website yet because I'm waiting on my inventory and I'm in the process, but within the next few weeks, it'll be up on the website. So I'm in the process. If you just can't wait and you're so excited and you want to run out and get my book today, I'd go to Amazon and get it. If you'd like to get it from me, send me an email at jennifer@excavive.com and I'll put you on the list for when that's live to purchase on my site. And that's going to be happening quickly as well.
Wow. Okay, Jen. Oh my God, it's been such. Oh wow, we went a little bit longer than expected, but this is really nice.
Oh, this is
such a pleasure speaking with you. And I sit down and I'm saying to myself, like, okay, now, Tam, I had to send Tam. I'll send Tam a copy of the recording, and I'll also send you a copy of the recording. Okay. That way you can add it to your portfolio. And
when will this go? Will this go online on your site?
It will be live in like a half an hour.
Oh no, you are on it. I need to get that from you. You need to coach me on all this technology. And that is the biggest challenge.
By the time I look at it, and if I need to edit anything, other than that, I'm putting it straight up, streaming it live, and it'll be on the podcast, I guess, sometime around by 6 o'clock this evening.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I send you a link of the podcast as well. Girl, I don't play around. I
love that.
Listen, if I have stuff to do, I have to do what I got to do. I sit down. I launched 3 books, and it took me a while. The first book, because it was my journey to healing, it was very cathartic. That took the longest time for me to write. But then I launched all 3 books within, like say 7 days of each other.
Wow.
Now, yes, my journey to healing, business success for coaches and counselors, and marketing basics led by the spirit. So now I just have to, excuse me?
I said, I love that. Marketing led by the spirit. I love that title. It's awesome.
And I sit down and I have to say, well, now, because I'm just like really into building the business, into the podcast, interviewing as many people as I can, because I think every person's story and journey is worth it. And because we're all human beings, we're all on the same journey, but we're doing different roads.
Absolutely. But they're all getting to the same place. So.
And I sit down and I say to myself, like, okay, we are all seeking to become the best versions of ourselves. And I've only been coaching unofficially for 10 years, officially for the past 2.5, say 3 years. Like, I've been all in with the business, all in with the book, all in with the webinars, all in with the workshops. And I'm saying to myself now, it's giving me such a wonderful chance to connect with like-minded people and to be around people that think like me, that is in the same sphere of thinking. That way it can help empower me and I can level up as well, because
Absolutely.
My journey alone just to get to this point, it's been interesting. I had to overcome illiteracy.
Absolutely.
At the age of 38, I could barely read. I could barely do any arithmetic or anything like that. And I sat, no, for real. And then I had to become a lab technician, and I had to learn pharmacology and oncology, and then I had to do GD classes at night. And then I had to learn anatomy and physiology, and but I was doing everything all at the same time. And then right after graduation, I had my first myomectomy, and then a couple of years later, I had another myomectomy. Then I had to learn social graces and social skills, and then I made some of the most amazing women and men as my patients, and I just got a chance to really connect and resonate with so many people and make some, like when I say some of the sweetest friends, and I say to myself, oh my God, when this thing kicked off, I was like, oh my God, me and my friend Felicia, she was like, oh my God, Jennifer, we still gonna be friends? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what happened? And she goes, oh my God, she's like, sunshine, let me tell you, we still cool. I'm like, yes, 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 because it is how is it in your state at the moment? How is it in Kentucky?
Yeah, our governor shut us down pretty early, and
Really?
he did. And so
Oh, good.
our levels have been low. Uh,
Hmm.
they're starting to rise a little bit as we're still in the reopening phase, starting to rise
Are
a little.
you doing phase 2? Are you guys at phase 2 now?
We're at 2. We may even be at 3. Honestly,
Okay.
I don't. I know I could go get my hair done. I was so happy to get my hair done. I was like, oh, thank goodness. I mean, everything. It's interesting the impact of the pandemic, and to have such compassion for people out there. There's so much struggle, and from a health perspective, from an economic perspective, and also from an inner working perspective. It gave me the opportunity to stay inward, to really focus on my creativity, and to really take a look at, what do I want to keep in my life? What do I want to let go of? Um, I loved walking in my neighborhood and seeing families come together, and these
Nice.
whole families walking together and spending time together. I think there's some lovely things that I hope, in fact, I wrote a newsletter, I'll forward to you, that I really said, here are the things I hope we keep from this. I hope that we learn from this. That it's a big old awakening, and I hope it awakens to people to the good things that are there. It awakens them to the good. There is good there. It awakens them to new ways of being for themselves and being with each other. And there's opportunity for that, which I think is right there on us. But I just want to say back to you and your personal story. It's so inspiring. I mean, I know I've done this for a long time, but I love people's stories. And if there's anything I can do to support you, please let me know. I love making these connections. Part of what I learned early on as a coach, because there were not many people that were coaches, anytime I found somebody, I would reach out and they would sit with me. We'd have coffee, we'd sit, they would talk, they would give me their wisdom. And they weren't coaching me. It was just, they gave me their wisdom. And so it's something I said, that as I go through this work, as long as I do it, if anybody comes to me is interested in coaching, or what it's like, and they want to hear my perspective, I'm always happy to give time and share, those things, or let's solve some problems together. So it's wonderful to have, other coaches with other experiences. And again, all I can say is, I think you have some amazing experiences to be really out there making a big difference in this world.
When I first started on my own journey, and they was like, Jennifer, why don't you just do coaching? Because I had worked with a group of ladies from the Redwood area. They just happened to be like my patients, and then we became friends. And then they was dealing with, there was like an actual epidemic at Don Bosco, and then they would just start talking to me, and then I'm saying to myself, and God says, Jennifer, I'm sending them to you, and I'm like,
They're your angels. They're your angels. Yes.
And then I felt, and I could actually identify and empathize with them, because then once their children became addicted, and then one of them had lost a child to addiction overdose.
Mm.
And I sit down, and we were really cool friends. And then there were my coworkers and everything. So I helped them to form a support group for women within their area that was experiencing the same thing, based on my own experience and my own experience and knowledge. And I sit down, and then some were divorced, and it's like women, we all have like the same kind of challenges. And I had to sit down, and then when her son had died from an overdose, my heart just broke, because as a woman and as a mom, that is like the last thing that's like the last thing that you would want for your child. You understand what I'm saying, for your baby? And so now I had to help them form a support group. And then while I'm doing all of this, somebody goes, Jennifer, why don't you just get licensed? I'm like, for what? She goes, become a life coach, because you're really good at it. And I say to myself, I says, they actually have like a job for that.
And here you
I'm like, that's actually a thing.
Here you are. And that's
And I
fantastic.
sit down and I say to myself, and this was how I ended up from phlebotomy, because I guess in the phlebotomy and as a lab technician, you come into contact with like so many people, and people from all walks of life and everything. And I sat down, and I say to myself, oh my God, I can actually get another job that pays, look, that has like a better salary. And while I'm living my passion and doing what I really, really like to do, and that is to really work and help with the entire person. You know what I'm saying? With the entire being. And I say to myself, oh my gosh, like, and then I like, okay, so I'm working full time during the day, then I'm taking the classes, and then I'm working part time, and I'm working on the book, and I'm saying to myself, oh my gosh. But finally, in 2018, I completed the first book, got my degree, and got my coaching certification. Then I had to learn to build a business, and because I didn't know anything regarding podcast or even what to do with the coaching business, I started posting on Facebook everything that I needed, and then the people would just show up. And then I would just develop these really great connections like we're connecting now. And I'm saying to myself, oh my God, this is really wonderful, because now I can really connect with people from the like a soul connection.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, I really believe, I think I said it earlier, I mean, we're the sum accumulation of our experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever you've got in your repertoire of
Yeah.
experiences, you're going to be able to connect with somebody on that level, and you'll have compassion for them because it's
Mm-hmm.
something you've gone through and experienced. And I think it's one of the things that for coaches who understand that makes
Mm-hmm.
us the right people to have as part of your team or part of your support system or part of your life, because wow, we deeply care. I mean, at least I do. I
Me
deeply care for
too.
my clients, and if they're going through something I went through 10 years ago and had to go through this experience and heal it, I'm like all in for them, and want to
Totally.
them and give them what I've got to say, it's okay, you're okay. I'm an example who went through that too, and here I am. You'll be okay too. And here's some tools and some help along the way. So I think the more experiences you've had in life, like I said, the deeper your work can be for healing others. And so what a
And
phenomenal gift you are to the world.
And they would say to me, Jennifer, what's the matter? I'm like, oh my God, I got divorced. And she's like, girl, don't worry about that. Me, when I got divorced, me and my girlfriends had a party. I was like, you can do that?
Isn't that what we do? In fact, my very first coaching tool that I created was a permission slip. And I'm like, every time someone's
Really?
like, I'm sending you a permission slip so that you can give yourself permission to do this. Of course you can do this.
Listen, I had no idea because my marriage had, when I was married, and my marriage, it wasn't the best of marriages, but I had to take a chance on myself at that moment and at that point in time. And then there's like, why are you so sad? And I had felt like I had failed because, not the A, but the D.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm saying to myself, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I was having my own insecurities, and these women were like my best supporters. They were giving me so much strength. And as I watched them reinvent themselves after divorce, some went back to school. Some started their own realty company. Some went into all different kinds of fields. Some went into coaching. Some went into counseling. And I sat down and I'm saying to myself, and they was like, come on, Jennifer, you can do this. Understand? We're with you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. So now it gives me a chance because I really see that people are just people.
Right.
People are just people, and we all experience pain, love, laughter, joy, sadness. And I had to say to myself, you know what? I can help somebody. And every day I wake up, I say, who am I going to help today? Who can I help today? Who can I help today? And when I say, who can I help today? Who can I connect with today? And people, they're like, why do you say that? Because that is my mission when I wake up. Who can I help today? Who can I connect with today? And I say to myself, okay, Jennifer, I'm going to be a success at this coaching business, and the universe and God is going to send me the greatest support team, and I am going to connect, and I am going to make a difference while I'm alive on this planet. And I say to myself, okay. So just connecting with you, Jen, I'm really honored, very honored. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, because you've given me so much encouragement. Do you have just given me almost 17 years of information?
Happy to share.
You've given me 17 years of information within such a short time, and you're such a wonderful person to speak with, to connect with. You're loaded with wisdom and charisma. So, I'm the quintessential student. And I say to myself, if you ever need a guest speaker, are you doing Tam's tour in August?
Yes, yes.
Ah, okay. So is she still doing it live, or is she going to do it Zoom? What happened?
Sorting it out. She's still figuring some of those details out. So
okay.
Know more about that this weekend, but we're doing,
Listen, you speak to her and you tell her, send me, if you're going to do it live or if they're going to do it in person, I would love to actually meet all of the ladies together, because I think I've interviewed several, I think maybe 10 of them already, and she's still sending them. Yeah. Have you met all the other ladies as yet?
You know what? We've been on one Zoom call together where we
Mm-hmm.
were all together, and I met, I think just about everybody was on that call. And then I've had a couple of one-on-ones with a few
Mm-hmm.
people as well. And we have a Facebook page where we're always putting information in and sharing ideas. And so we're
Mm-hmm.
sort of getting to know each other kind of through those social media channels,
Mm-hmm.
and connecting in emails. And so,
Is it Women Who Boss Up? Is that the social network? Is that the page on Facebook, Women Who Boss Up?
it's either Women Who Boss Up or Women Who Boss Up International. I can't remember.
Ah, that's it.
I
Women Who
think,
Boss Up International.
right, but that may be a closed group. I'm not sure what the public
No,
page.
it's not for me because I'm not one of the ladies in the book.
Right.
But what I do is whenever Tam sends me someone and I do an interview, I give the ladies a copy, I send Tam a copy, and I keep a copy. That way, if anybody needs anything or
Ab-
something like that, that way we can all just stay connected because I love promoting you ladies. I am so for the thing that each and every one of you have lived such an amazing life and overcome so many challenges. And now you've taken all of your life experiences and you've turned around to help empower, encourage, to help heal, to help strengthen, to help guide the next group of people
Right.
through your life experiences. You understand what I'm saying? So I am
I would
all
add the word love in there too. I mean, it's encouraging.
yes, I can feel the love. The love is there. Yes, it is. And I think Tam did an amazing job, and she's put an awesome, an amazing group of women together. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what it is that you guys do. I'm like, you're like one powerful force.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. And our book comes out right now. It's scheduled to come out August 14th, Women Who Boss.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so that will be available on Amazon as well as the authors. Many of the authors themselves will also be selling books.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that book will be out, and it'll be so exciting, I think, for people to get the book and to read people's stories and to listen
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
to hear about it. There's just so much inspiration that's there, and everybody has wisdom, and it's
That is the
fantastic to
thing. And it's such a say it again, hon.
be able to get those nuggets, kind of those pearls of wisdom from each
Yes,
person.
yes, yes, Jen. And it's such a diverse group. And I sit down and I'm like, wow, where did she find these ladies? But
She
she
did.
did good.
She did.
17 years. I think you are one of the, I think I've spoken with another coach that has been coaching for 25 years.
Oh,
But
wow.
you are one of the few, what's her name, Susan? And she's doing Discovering You Again, I guess for women in their mid 40s to 50s. What do they do with the second half of their life? And she's been coaching for like 25 years. Amazing lady, amazing, amazing lady. So I am truly honored, very honored, and I feel humbled and grateful. Thank you so very much.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm going to have to tell Tim, thank you. I'll send you a copy, and you have the link, and then you have the customized, you customize each program and coaching session based on your client's needs, 4 to 6 weeks, and then you have a long-term 12-week sessions for 4 to 6 months, and then, this is really good. And the name of the book is The True You, available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and the workbook is available. And what is the other one?
Oh, iUniverse. That's my publishing
Universe.
website, iUniverse. And the book is The True You Reimagined.
The True You Reimagined.
Reimagined. And the workbook, it will be The True You Workbook, Tools to Reimagine Your Life.
So The True You Reimagined, available on Amazon, and The True You Reimagined workbook, that is coming soon.
Coming soon. It's in production at the publishers right now. So
Awesome.
it should be
And you have the free, if there's the free book, the free ebook.
the free ebook, Be Who You Are, 6 Ways to Excavate Yourself. There's a picture of it right there. And you can get that on when you sign up for my newsletter on my website, that's an automatic download on my website as well.
Okay.
Great.
Book. And I think that is it. I'll send you a copy of my books, and you're welcome to download those and take a look at it. It's in Kindle, not unless you want the paperback, but you can download it, and you know.
I would love to see your wisdom as well. So
it's actually from a spiritual angle, because God had to deal with me with bitterness and forgiveness and faith and trust and
all those good things.
Myself as the way that God created me. Then I had to learn to abide, and then I had to learn to just do. And I sat down and I say to myself, oh my God, Father, it's like 56 different sections, and there was chapters and scriptures and verses, and I share like a little bit of my story and everything. And I sit down, and I didn't know that. I knew I was a mess. I knew I was a broken mess, but I didn't have anything to give God but my heart.
That's all needs.
Listen, and I sit down and I say to myself, remember Jesus and the man from Bethesda, and I sit down and I look at 38, literally. That's when my journey started, because I was raped at a very young age, and then someone, believe it or not, I was hungry and I wanted food, and the man goes, okay, I'll give you food, and took me up to the top of the roof and threatened to throw me over the side of the building, and then raped me. And then, so I'm traumatized by that, and then, I became a family incest. I was raped and in my house, and then it was just,
I'm so
I didn't know what to do or how to heal the pain, and that was how I became addicted, like at the age of 16, off and on. So I work with people, because that's why I can't judge women and I can't judge people, because you never know where a person has been, and I think God had to teach me compassion and empathy for other people.
And for yourself.
Yes. Girl, I had to learn to love me at some point, and I started my loving Jennifer journey
I love it.
at the age of 38. And I had to learn to say no to many things and say yes for things that was in my best interest, within my own personal self-growth and my mental and psychological healing and journey. And I had to sit down and say to myself, when the time comes, right now, let me just keep working on me. And as I learned to love me, I started honoring the God in me.
Right. Love it.
And that's how the inner peace, and that was where I became centered, found my inner peace, found my power, found my strength. And I sat down, and everything I needed was within me. And I sit down and I say to myself, when I speak, when I wake up, I look at myself, I love you, Jennifer. And as I love me, I can love you and honor the God in you. And I sat down and I got it. And I say to myself, oh my God, this is how we connect on a soul level.
Right.
Because we're all connected. We're literally all connected. And I sat down and I had to learn to stay focused, be present, stay in the moment, and every person's life matter. And trust me, I would fall to pieces if somebody get a cut. I would fight for you. I worked in the medical field and I can do all of that stuff, but I had to learn to be strong. I could be strong for you, but I had to learn to be strong for me. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I had to say to myself, wow.
Yes. Thank you for sharing more of your story with me. It's
I would like for you to get to know me. Yes.
such an honor to um, bear witness and to listen and to learn about that. And like I said, I think you have the deeper, harder our challenges, the more you have to give on the other side. So you
Girl,
have something deeply, deeply tremendous to be offering the world. I mean, you take that pain and suffering and you transform it into
mhm,
something
mhm,
so big and amazing and powerful. I think that
mhm,
that gives you
mhm.
this place of even more power and empowerment to be able to bear witness to others and to help heal others. I mean, that's kind of what you're doing. Heal thyself, heal others. So what a gift you
And
are to
that is how it
you are
started.
to the world as well.
Yes, Jen, believe it or not, that's how it started. As I started healing other people and helping other people and serving other people, I became better. I became stronger. And I'm like, so I wake up, I'm like, who am I going to help today?
Absolutely.
And I said, and I get really excited. And they're like, what's wrong with her? I'm like, you guys don't understand. You have 17 years of experience, and you just sat here, and I just got a chance not only to know you and your business, but to connect with you as an individual.
Right here. Yes.
Yes, 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 totally. And let's see. You started the company in 2003, and it's Excavive, and you work mainly with CPAs. Hmm.
No, not mainly. They're just it's just an aspect I have.
Okay. Okay.
I have a law not law firm. I have a CPA firm here in Kentucky that
Ah.
started. They actually brought me in as a coach about 8 years ago to work
Mhm.
with one of their tax CPAs who was going through a divorce, and they wanted to give her a different type of support. And
Mhm.
because of the work I did with her, they started giving me
Awesome.
care. And then we created a full-on coaching program. So I
Mhm.
coach about 4 different levels of people
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
4 different divisions of the
Mhm.
company in 3
Mhm.
locations. So I've got
Mhm.
about 35, 40 CPAs. So
Okay.
I sort of understand the mindset because of that.
Mhm.
And I love working with them. But again, because I love individuals, there are common traits I see with them that
Mhm.
I'm able to bring some experience having worked with so many of them. There is something I bring to the table with that. But
Mhm.
again, I'm showing up for every single person as an individual and
Mhm.
getting to know them, getting to understand the foundation of who they are, what's important to them, what they
Mhm.
want, not only for their career, but for their lives. And then
Mhm.
give them the tools and permission to go create that and be on that journey to help continue to grow that and encourage that. And, part of what's maybe different than other coaches, I have clients that work with me for years. I mean, I have a client I've worked with off and on for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
I've
Nice.
several clients I've worked with for 7, 8 years, several that are 3 and 4 years. So I have people that
Mhm.
we work together for a long time because we
Mhm.
are truly transforming their lives in all
Mhm. Mhm.
aspects. And
Mhm.
so it's fun for me to really build those relationships. And I've been entrusted to be on their journey for whatever period of time that is. So whether I do 4 sessions with somebody or 40 or 400 sessions, I'm thrilled to be on the journey. It's an honor.
Listen, do you know what it's like? Do you know how awesome that is that you have been coaching the same client on and off for 12 years? That's says so much, Jen. It says so much about you. You know why? Because that means every time we've helped them with a challenge and they've conquered or they've had clarification or had a breakthrough, and then they come up with another challenge or they come up with something else. And then it's like, who's the best person that can support me at this moment that I can trust? Help. You understand? You have the trust factor, you have the wow factor, and you also have what they call you deliver.
I do. Yes, I do. Absolutely. I show up.
Exactly. You bring results, and I think that is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
So, does she give you a good referral base as well, or he or she?
I have her testimonials on my website. I have several testimonials from men and women throughout my website and in my book. I think I have 12 testimonials in my book, my new book, and about the book and my work as a coach as well. And so I'm very blessed to have a mate.
Oh my God, I'm so honored. Oh my God, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I can put that in the, let's see. Now I have to sit down and put all of these notes together.
If you need anything else from me, please just let me know if you need to clarify anything, or
Okay,
I would love to stay connected. So thank you.
You're my new sister friend. Let me tell you something. I can learn so much from you. Oh my God. Are you doing a master class, or do you have like master classes?
In the process of creating something for January.
Coach to coach?
That is one of the possibilities. If I had enough people, because it's interesting. I've coached a lot of coaches, not necessarily how do you do your business, but how to be a coach, how to really, I don't know how to explain it. There are some.
There's a difference. I'm sorry. You know, there's a difference in how to be a coach and how to do coaching, right?
Exactly. I teach them how to be a coach.
Yes.
Anyone can go take a training class and ask a question. So I really teach someone who they are as a coach, how to be a coach, how to really be clear on who are the people who need you as a coach, and how you attract those ideal clients to yourself. Teach people how they want their life to look as a coach. I mean, what is it? There's so many aspects and ways. Let's be clear on you as coach and what that looks like. Not just the business and who you're going to be, but also what does your life look like? Because that's a piece of it. And I've learned, you know, I remember having like 10 clients in one day one time. I thought, what am I thinking? I mean, I was exhausted for days to do 10 hours of coaching in one day. And so I've really had to learn, one of my tips for success.
Was this when you first started?
It was a few years in, because I had a lot of clients within a few years, and you know, it's just a process. You know, you learn at all these different levels, different things. But
well, you learned a lot from that 10 client marathon session, right?
Well, the strange thing is, it energized me. Like, I get so excited.
In the zone, girl.
It does not
in the zone.
Not deplete me. I have some really phenomenal tools that I've learned early on. I did a lot of, I did some other trainings in addition to my coaches training, you know, around transformation and intuition, and worked with an energy worker on how I kind of take care of my own energy and set energetic boundaries. And I learned some things early on that I've kept and I've incorporated. So, so I do coach coaches individually, but I love the idea of the masterclass for coaches. Thank you for that. I thought about it a long time ago.
If you ever decide to do that, keep me in the loop and say, hey, Jen, we're having a masterclass, blah, 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 blah. And I remembered what you said, so here's the link and here's the information. And
thank you so much for that. Thank you for that. So
you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I think that would be we have all the .coms, and let me just go over the link one more time so that we have all the information. And I think after that, that's it. I think, and it is excavive.com.
Yes.
And then you also have Jennifer.
Jennifer at excavive.com is my email.
Jennifer at excavive.com. Okay, let me just look at all my notes here. Wow. Okay. These children, got that. The True You Reimagined, and Jennifer at excavive.com. Jennifer at ESCAVIVE. And I think that's it. And then they can connect with you. They can get the book. And you're on Facebook, Instagram, and
LinkedIn, and
Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Yes.
And just under Jennifer Blair.
So under Facebook, I'm Jennifer M. Blair. I also have an Excavive Coaching and Consulting page, which is a great page to be on to kind of get information. My Instagram is Excavive, and my LinkedIn, I believe, is Jennifer M. Blair or Excavive. It may be tied in together. So they're all connected. In fact, you can connect on my website. There's ways to connect from my website as well.
Okay, and I'll check the link, and I think that's it then.
Okay.
So,
it's been so delightful.
It's been a pleasure, Jen.
I loved meeting
It's been a pleasure. Look, I'll continue to follow you on Facebook, and I'll connect with you on Facebook. Because believe it or not, I'm actually following all the ladies on Facebook, and I'm connecting with everybody, and I'm seeing what everybody's doing. And this way, once my coach and my mentor says to me, Jennifer, you have to once you've started to grow, you have to make new friends. You have to connect with people on your level.
Absolutely.
Coming from where I was coming from, she goes, Jennifer, you just got to cut some people loose, and you got to get new friends. And I learned that I have to do that in order to keep my sanity, because as I grow, I need people to feed into me so that I can feed into others. Does that make sense?
It's about aligning matched energies.
Aligning matched energies? Oh, that's fancy. Can I use that?
This is what I do. I create names of things. It's
aligning matched energies. Woo. Wow. Aligning matched energies. Wow. I never heard that. I knew that people's been resonating and da-da-da-da-da-da-da, but aligning matched energies? This is new. Say it again, Jen.
Yes, aligning matched energies. That's what, you got to find the people. And I think that's important in actually all aspects of life, not just friends, but even clients. You attract the right clients with the right energy who needs the level of work in which you're capable of giving to them. It's with your friends. And because of that, the other side of that is you have to have boundaries. And I always say, create boundaries, but how do you create boundaries with compassion? Not just here's the boundary and it's a hard line. It's a boundary that's good for you and the other person.
Exactly.
Compassion that's there. So yeah, there's a lot to that. That's a whole nother podcast. So
listen, we can always still follow up. So you have so much experience that we can't get like all the information in one setting, in one sitting. So you're welcome back anytime. Just let me know when you have an update. Okay, whenever you have an update, welcome back anytime. And if you have like, okay, Jen, I have a new book, new product, new this is going on, we're doing an event, or anything that you feel like you would like to share, just say, Jen, Okay, my sister friend, this is what's going on, da 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 da,
Perfect.
and I'll put it on the internet and stream it for you, and I will promote it. Okay?
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. So thanks again, Jen. It was a pleasure, and I'll send you a copy of the link, okay?
That sounds
And I will request a copy of the ebook, and I'll send Tam a copy, and follow me on Facebook, and
I
we'll,
think I already am. Yes.
yeah, okay. So, pieces.
Heart to heart. Yes.
Heart to heart.
Heart.
Have a wonderful weekend, and it was my pleasure. Thank you. And you did great, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're
Once
welcome.
I finally got on, I was like, how can I not connect here? So yes, once we got.
We are so connecting. I think we're connecting. Don't you?
No, I was talking about trying to get on the Zoom call. I was having a moment of panic when it was not letting me into Zoom. So, but we saw.
You know what it is? I think it's the internet. It really is the internet. And this is from a sister to a sister.
Absolutely.
Okay. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Wow. Bye, Jennifer. Thanks. Bye-bye.